Uganda emerged victorious with a very wide margin here of 67 against 14 points for Tanzania. And as you can see, Ugandans are really doing great in this game against the Tanzania. They dominated them, and we are here to witness another fun. We're here to witness another spectacular match of Kenya 1 against Kenya 2. It is a match. Yes, we are here waiting for the next match, where we'll be having Kenya 1 playing Kenya 2, and I will be your commentator, Robert Otieno, for this match. Let's wait and see the spectacular game and what the team has for us. Yes, they're coming in, led by the referees and the umpires. We have Isaac Uduor, who will be our main referee of the match today, assisted with the umpires. As we wait for Kenya to come in, we wait for a Yes, and we just heard the Kenyan national anthem, since both the two teams are from Kenya and they are very excited to be on the mat. Let's wait and see how spectacular the game is going to be. It is very competitive here at the African Kabaddi Championship, and we wait to see what the ladies have to offer on the mat. The first team being led by Coach Simon, and the second team being led by John Karuga as their main coach here. And we wait for a spectacular match. The teams line up for a team photo as they prepare themselves before the games can begin. Stay tuned and keep following here on on Kabaddi YouTube channel, and subscribe to all our website platforms. And you can see the captains are being called there by the main referee there, Isaac Uduor, with the captains, and they have a small conversation, being given the rules and guidelines before the games can begin, before we can see some adrenaline rush here and there from these two amazing teams. And they toss the coin to choose which team is going to begin by raiding or which one will begin by defending. As you can see, the captains are there being reminded of the rules to ensure being disciplined is part of and core of the game, and how to maintain the rules. And the team captains have a small conversation there before the match can end. You can see each and every team having their prayers before they can begin. Kenya 1 wins with the green jersey, wins the toss, and they choose to start by defending. What a spectacular day here at J-Quat Hall with the African Women Kabaddi Championship. What a competitive match here. And Kenya 2 starts by raiding, and this Stacey Karanja on the mat here, stretching from left to right. Moving from left to right, you can see Stacey Karanja here on the mat, raiding against Stacey Karanja, moving from left to right. You can see he seems to be a left raider, and he goes back with an empty raid. And we have Lavender on the mat raid for Kenya 1, the green jersey. They are raiding on the left corner, and he stretches to the cover. He gets a point. Lavender gets a point there. Getting 1 point for Kenya 1. And another one, Kenya 2 Raider. She gets another point for the cover. And the game is becoming competitive here. And Adasha again on the mat raiding from the left corner, attempts a kick. She doesn't get a point. Stretching for the cover again. Adasha raiding, giving them some tough competition, not allowing the defenders to rest. We have Stacey Karanja for Kenya 2 again on the mat to raid. Stretch on the right. And what a tackle, a surprise tackle. By the left, right in attempts a surprise tackle, and Stacey Karanja is out of the mat to go and re-strategize again. Lavender again back to the mat after taking away the defender. She is back again to try and salvage points for her team. Stretching on the left corner. She's stretching on the left corner there. She doesn't get a touch. Attempts a touch again, chasing to the right corner. Lavender attempts a toe touch, and she doesn't get a touch. Back with an empty raid. And Kenya 2 again. Attempting a stretch on the cover. Stretch again to the left corner there, doesn't get a point. She's not allowing the defense to rest here. And we have a dash again back to the mat, moving to the left corner. Moving to the left corner. She's doing some footworks here to confuse the defense. And she attempts a toe touch, doesn't get a point, confusing the defense, stretching on the right corner, doesn't get a point. She's confusing these people, stretch the cover, doesn't get a point. What a great footwork from Adasha there. She's confused the defense. And again, Kenya 2 trying to salvage a raiding point, stretching to the cover, she doesn't get a touch. Attempts a touch, what a tackle. The cover does not allow her to run again. It was a great tackle from the cover there. And that's another second player from Kenya 2 team sent back to the bench so that they can re-strategize. Kenya 1 teams take a lead here. And you can see Lavender back to the match again. Lavender stretching for the right corner, and she gets a point. She gets another point, and now 3 players back to the bench. It seems like this team is somehow dominating the Kenya 2 players. And another raid on the match again. Here at the left corner. He rushes to the right corner and doesn't get a point. Is she going to go back with an empty raid? She seems so relaxed. Back with an empty raid. And Adasha is back again to try and salvage a point once more. On the left corner, and she's stretching the right corner. What a tackle from the right corner. Oh, but she wasn't successful. The tackle was kind of too high for them to manage. And Adasha crosses with, is it going to be 2 points or 3 points? And Adasha gets 3 points, leaving the team with only a single player. And 3 players sent off the match again by Adasha in a spectacular raid there. And you can see they're salvaging a lot of points against this other team. And the raider is also back stretching, running from the left to right, trying to stretch. She doesn't get a touch there. Back to the left corner, and a dive from the left corner with a quick support, and she wasn't able to manage, and it's gonna be an all-out for the team. All the 7 players sent to the bench, with this team emerging very victorious. They seem to be strategic in beating this other team. And Lavender again back to the match to raid. Lavender there on the left corner. She attempts a kick. She doesn't get a touch. A toe touch. She doesn't get a touch. She goes back with an empty raid. Gets a bonus point. Stacey Karanja again on the match to the right corner, moving from right to left. At the left corner there, she attempts a stretch and gets an in. She gets a point, sending away Adasha, who has been terrorizing the team. And Lavender is again back on the mat to raid and try and salvage Adasha. You can see Team Kenya 2 is there, ready to do a sub after being sent to the bench. And Lavender is there attempting some footworks, and she's blocked, but she gets 2 points. She manages to cross with 2 points. And another 2 players sent again back to the bench for Team Kenya 2. Stacy Karanja again on the mat to raid and try and salvage the point and rescue the team from another all-out. Confusing the defense here. On the left corner, runs straight, and she gets what a quick support. She was almost crossing with 2 points, but a support from the left corner, Maria, managed to save the team from getting points. And Adasha is again back to the match raid against 4 defenders. Adasha on the right corner. There she attempts a footwork, sending straights on the left, and she straights again. She doesn't get a touch. Back to the left corner there, and she's gonna go back with an empty raid. Adasha back with an empty raid, and we have again a raider from the Kenya team 2 stretching, attempting some footworks to confuse the defense, and she goes back with an empty raid. And Adasha is back again after going back with an empty raid. Let's see if she's gonna be able to salvage some points now. She attempts a kick there and doesn't get. Water block, and then right corner blocks, and Adasha is pinned down, sent back to the bench, salvaging 1 more player from the bench, and now they're back to 5. And the raider again crosses the mat to try and get some points. And she's pursued. Water pursue, getting a point to send the raider. She was almost going back with an empty raid, but pursued and sent off to the bench again. And we have Gloria on the mat, raiding at the left on a 3rd raid. Gloria for a 3rd raid here. She tries to get a point. She's not lucky, but what a tackle. What a tackle from Mamito there, pinning Gloria down, sending her again back to the bench. Is this gonna be another all-out for the team? Because they're back to 3. And it seems like the team is really terrorizing and pinning down them from numbers. And Adasha is again on the mat, trying to send the defenders off the match again. And she's really working hard in this game. You can see attempting a touch there, stretching, she doesn't get a point. Stretches again for the left corner and doesn't get. She's back with an empty raid. And we have a substitution with the Uma going out and Sharon on the mat. Sharon in here to try and salvage the team for the on the raiding side. And she's here trying some footworks from the left corner, stretching to the left corner. She doesn't get a point. Again, stretching in the left corner. She does some footworks, confusing the defense here. What a tackle from the right corner, having an ankle catch and very quick support to send the Sharon out, not enabling Sharon to use her height in reaching the center line there. And we have Lavender raiding against 2 defenders. It is a super tackle on here. Let's see, are they going to be able to pin Lavender down on a super tackle to achieve 2 points for the team? Lavender stretching on the left corner, pressing on the left corner, stretching, running to the right. She's not able to get a point there. Back to the right, with minutes running out here. Lavender goes back with an empty raid. It is really difficult to handle 2 defenders. And now we have another raider We have another raider from Kenya, Team Kenya 2 here, trying to salvage points for the team. And she attempts a toe touch, she doesn't get a point. Is she gonna go back with an empty raid? Oh no, she goes back with an empty raid. And we have Adasha raiding, a third raid for Adasha here, and also able to, for the other team to achieve a super tackle. Wow, the defender dives and plans and giving Adasha an easy point there, and they are pinned down to one player. She's only here to salvage the team. She's the only one left. If she gets a point, she'll save the team, but if sent off, it will be an all-out. Let's see. Attempts a toe touch for the cover, doesn't achieve a point. Moving to the left corner. Stretching, and Mary Oteki is there pressing, and the cover dives, and Oteki is able to offer quick support, and the Raider is not able to cross the center line, hence being pinned down again, and the team is on another second all out, having 3 points clean for Team Kenya 1. They're really trying and pressing this team, terrorizing the team. They're not enabling them to have some good time to strategize. And they make some substitutions again in Team Kenya 2. Sharon, after coming to try and salvage the team, she was not able. She was pinned down, and I can see she's again sent off the mat. And they ask for time out to strategize. As we can see, the game is under a lot of pressure, and Team Kenya 1 is really dominating Team Kenya 2. Are they going to be able to strategize under this time out and be able to come back and salvage the points that they're being pinned down to? It has been a second all out. And as you can see, the scores are really terrible, with Kenya 1 having 21 points and Kenya 2 only to 3 points. It is really demoralizing. There you can see, are they going to be able to get some hopes and try and salvage these points? What a wide margin. The margin will be difficult to close. The gap is too big to close right now, but let's wait and see. And the match is back on, and we have Lavender crossing the mat to raid again. Lavender in the left corner, and she gets a bonus point. Lavender back with a bonus point. Lavender back with a bonus point. And you can see the captain is called there to a talk by the referee, given some warning. And Kenya 2 is able to win a technical point from Kenya 1 there. And Jep Koech on the mat to raid. Jep Koech raiding here on the left corner. She attempts some footwork, stretching to the right, moving to the right corner. She's trying to salvage points here. And stretches and gets a cover. Wow, Jep Koech with a perfect stretch to the cover, getting one more point to add to the score sheet of their team. Team Kenya 2, and Adasha is again on the mat to raid for Team Kenya 1. And attempts a kick for the cover, and she doesn't get a point. Footworks there on the left corner, stretching to the corner, and throws a kick. What a confusion. And the cover is making an unplanned move, giving Team Kenya 1 and Adasha an easy point to the center line there. And Stacey Karanja is back on the match to raid and try and salvage points. And she attempts a toe touch, she doesn't get a point. Karanja back to the left corner. Stacey Karanja back to the left corner, attempting Banfuka, stretching for the cover. And she gets a point from Lauren Fletcher, the cover. And what a good strategy. Stacey managed to get a point from Lauren Fletcher on the cover there. And Adasha is back on the match again. Attempts a toe touch to the corner. Cover there, doesn't get a kick on the left corner. Adasha doesn't get a stretching for the cover. And Adasha is really confusing the defense. Back again to the left corner. Relaxed. Is she going to go back with an empty raid? And Adasha crosses the mat with an empty raid. And at halftime, with Team Kenya 2 only at 5 points, really being pinned down to a tough margin there. And the margin is growing bigger and bigger as they continue with the match. Let's see are they going to be able to re-strategize over the halftime and be able to come back with the points and salvage the gap that they are being put through. And the pressure is really increasing for Team Kenya 2. As you can see, the coach is there to try and talk to them. And the coach is really there trying to talk to Team Kenya 2 and try and install some strategies and replan on whatever they're going to do to pin down the points and close the gap that they are having. Because as you can see, Team Kenya 1 is leading with a lot of points, while Team Kenya 2 only at 5 points. It is a match to wait and witness what they are able to do, because you can see they have some really great players as their main raider there, Stacey Karanja, trying to get some few points here and there, and the cover together with the corner trying also to do some tackles, but they really have to strategize. If we check on the Team Kenya 1, they have a really tough corner with Mary Oteki on the left corner, and on the right corner there they also have Liz, who is really doing some tackles there, ankle catch and holds here, with Maria also being able to offer some quick support. And in the cover there they have Lorraine Fletcher, who is also doing some surprise tackles and very quick in offering supports. Let's wait and see if Team Kenya 2 will be able to come back and salvage the points and move from 5 to at least a double-digit scores, as they are being put under a tough competition with 2 all-outs. And stay tuned here at Kabaddi Union TV here on YouTube. And I remind you to follow us on our social media platforms, like, comment, and also tell us what you think and your opinion about these teams. Suggest which team do you think is going to win this African Kabaddi Women Championship here at JKUAT Live. It is a moment for Team Kenya 2 and Team Kenya 1 to also reflect on how the first half has been, which it seems to be very tough for Team Kenya 2, despite having very great players like Sharon Kamumu there for the Raider. We also have Stacey Karanja. They also have Ouma there for the defense. They have Joy Mugechi. They have Ruth Naibei. They have a very Shabi Sandra also being part of the team. Seems to be a very tough game. Let's wait and see. Team Kenya 2. I think they really need to re-strategize and look at how they're going to handle their game. And as you can see, Team Kenya 1 is being motivated by their coach. Team Kenya 1 being motivated by their coach. Motivated by their coach, being reminded that they can keep up the spirit, keep fighting, since they are in a contest and they are here to win the cup. And you can see they mean business on the match. Since the first half has not really been a joke, they have been very serious and very tough, not enabling Team Kenya 2 to salvage as much points. here with Adasha, Esther Adasha being the main raider for Team Kenya 1. She has been able to salvage a lot of points, just walking over the defense and managed to achieve 2 all-outs on the Team Kenya 2. They've been beaten to 2 all-outs and they really need to come back strong to be able to maneuver the pressure and scale down these scores. And the first half is over. They're back to the mat again. Let's wait and see if there are any changes that they have made over the halftime that are going to be impactful on the mat. And as you can see, Team Kenya 1 seems to be very reluctant, and they are making a substitution of almost the entire team, having 5 players being substituted. Wow. Wow. What a courage. What a courage. Team Kenya 1 substitutes 6 players. Team Kenya 1 substitutes 5 players, changing the entire 5 players. Wow. And it seems like they were supposed to substitute 5 players, but the 6th player also walked out of bounds. And now giving Team Kenya 2 a point. And it is time for Team Kenya 1 to start the second half with the raid. They kick off with the raid there. And we have Loretta on the mat attempting a bonus. She doesn't get stretching for the cover. And Loretta gets an easy stretch to the cover, achieving a point. Loretta gets a bonus plus point for Team Kenya 1, and they're still piling up points against Team Kenya 2. And we have Stacy Karanja there stretching to the cover. She doesn't manage a point. Back to re-strategize again, moving from left to right in the left cover, where Mary Oteki is there, not allowing her to even insert the foot to the bonus point line. And she walks back with an empty raid. And you have a raider from this young one. Wow. It was a surprise tackle, but it seems like the raider was very quick and waiting just for a single touch so that she can cross, getting another point for her team. And it's another raid for Team Kenya 2, moving from the left corner to the right, stretching for the cover. And she goes back with an empty raid. It is another empty raid, the second empty raid for Team Kenya 2. And Loretta is back again to try and get point with having no bonus on. She's pressing too deep, stretching for the left corner. She doesn't get a point. Moving away the other team. She's stretching. She's reluctant. I think she's gonna go back with an empty raid. Very relaxed there and composed. She walks back with an empty raid, and we have Stacy Karanja again crossing the center line to go and try and get points for their team. And Stacy Karanja on the left corner attempts a stretch. She doesn't get a point. The right cover being so quick to escape the stretch from Stacy Karanja. Wow, what a back hold from Mary Oteki. Stacy being pinned down again and sent back to the bench. I think Team Kenya 2 are going to do a substitution there and try and re-strategize on the team. And they do a substitution, and Warao is on the mat to try and save the team by making some tackles. And we have the raider from Team Kenya 1 who is running from left to right with some challenging footwork here and there. And you can see what a block, and she's sent out of the mat. It was a tackle by the left corner here, dashing the raider outside the mat to at least salvaging a raider for the team, sending back another raider to the mat. And she stretches for the cover and gets a point. The raider stretches to the cover and gets a touch there. It was a touch, sending the cover off the mat. It seems they've gotten really some morale here, because having 2 points back to back has not been easy. And Loretta on the mat trying getting a bonus, and it is what the tackle was too high, and the raider is able to cross the center line. Loretta gets a bonus plus a point, plus a touch point there. And we have again another raider from Team Kenya 2 stretching for the cover, and she gets an easy one there, sending the left cover back to the bench. And Stacey Karanja being revived and also taken back to the bench for a substitution by Ruth Naibei. And Loretta again on the mat, very keen, and stretched to get the left corner, who was really moving close to the raider without keeping watch. And Loretta gets an easy point to revive the right cover. And Jep Koech again on the mat for the raiding. Jep Koech raiding for Team Kenya 2, and water block by the right cover there. The right corner, Faith Chepto making a block, not enabling Jep Koech to cross with any point. And you can see Team Kenya 1, despite making a substitute of 5 good players, they're still dominating this match, and they have a timeout there to strategize again despite dominating the match. And Team Kenya 2, only 4 of them left to the mat. Is it going to be another all-out? And as you can see, the fans are really happy there, having Joy Mugechi on the substitution spot. I see the fans are really happy. Is she going to be able to change the situation for Team Kenya 2 here, after being under a lot of pressure and being pinned down by Team Kenya 1? Joy Mugechi onto the mat for the left corner. And we have Mary Wau from Team Kenya 1 raiding, moving from left to right. She attempts a stretch, she doesn't get a point. Moving from left to right, I think she's gonna go back with an empty raid, because she's very relaxed. And they are now buying time, since they're way high above Team Kenya 1. Mary Wau goes back with an empty raid. And we have Ruth Naibei, after being subbed in, crossing the center line to raid. Moving from left to right, she's raiding on the left mat, attempting a stretch, she doesn't get a point. Attempting a stretch on the left corner. She does not get a stretching point. And you can see Team Kenya 1 is being very strict, and they're playing an advance, not allowing the raider to get a success. The raider is not yet able to cross the success line, and she's sent on, and she's sent off the mat. Wow, what a strong team here from Team Kenya 1. They have not enabled the raider to cross the success line. And the raider from Team Kenya 1 is here again to try and get point. She seems very relaxed. I think she's going to settle for an empty raid. She walks back on an empty raid, and we have Joy Mugeshi again crossing the line to raid. After being brought in as a left corner there, she's forced to go and raid, since all the raiders have been sent off the mat, and she stretches for the right corner, doesn't get a touch. Stretching, moving to the, and she crossed the center line with 2 points. She's able to send Mary Wau and Faith Chepto, both handling the right corner, off to the bench. What a great trade from Joy Mugechi, managing 2 points for the team and reviving 2 more players And there are 5 on the mat, and Loretta on the mat raid. But Jay, by the right corner there, steps out of bounds, being sent off the mat. And Team Kenya 1 are able to revive Mary Wau back to the mat again. And we have Warau raiding, and she spreads for the left corner, getting an easy point there. It seems like Mary Oteki was not so keen, and they revive Chepkoech, who is the main raider for Team Kenya 2. We have the raider stretching for Joy Mugechi on the left corner, moving to the right corner there. She attempts a kick but doesn't get a point. And now Chepkoech being revived and goes crossing the center line to try and get a raid point for the team. Doing some footworks from the stretching for the right in and gets another point, reviving Ruth Naibei. Now it seems that they're now gaining some confidence in the game, since they're not going any lesser than 4 players on the mat, and if they move to 4 players, they're able to revive each other. Loretta on the mat trying to stretch. Loretta gets an easy point there. It seems like the right corner had a double mind, which was an advantage to Loretta, getting another point there. And Chepkoech is on the mat again to raid for Team Kenya 2, moving from right to left. As you can see, the right corner is giving a lot of pressure to the raiders. And they have again one more raider again from Team Kenya 2. And we have Team Kenya 2 being able to pin the raider out. And we have the raider being sent out, but she claims to cross the center line, hence asking for a review. And it seems like a lot of defenders were on top of her there. So if the review is successful, then she's gonna send back to bench a lot of players from Team Kenya 2. But if it isn't successful, then it is a sign of hope for Team Kenya 2, since they are now gaining a lot of confidence and morale in the game. And we have Joy Mugechi and Chepkoech on the lobby there for the review. Let's wait and see. And the officials, after taking the review, having a small conversation there. Is it going to be a sign of hope for Team Kenya 2? And Team Kenya 2 is able to send the raider off the mat. And it is a substitution. Chepkoech, having been the main raider, being substitute, sent back to the bench with Velma Mijide, who is on the mat now to raid. She's also a good raider and stretching, running from left to right. She's able to cross the center line with 2 points. Velma Mijide seems to be a super sub there, managing to get 2 points for her team just after entering the mat from the substitution bench. Velma Mijedi on the mat, and she's able to salvage the team, having 2 points. And we have Faith on the mat to raid. It seems like they are the only 2 players left playing the same corner, both on the right corner. Is Faith gonna go back with an empty raid? Because Team Kenya 2 seems to be very relaxed and composed now at the moment. And Faith seems relaxed. I think she's gonna go back with an empty raid. And she's back on an empty raid, and Super Tackle is on. And Velma again back to the mat to raid against the 2 defenders. And stretching for the right corner, she doesn't get a point. Attempts. It is a super tackle, with the right corner making a tackle and the left corner being very quick on support, sending Velma back to the bench. after having a very spectacular raid as she was subbed in. And we have Mary Wau again crossing the mat to raid for Team Kenya 1. In the last 3 minutes of the match, is Team Kenya 2 able to pin down these points, because the margin seems to be wanting. And for Team Kenya 1, it is a great sign and a great hope that they might be able to win this African Kabaddi Women Championship held here in Kenya at JKUAT Hall. And as you can see, Team Kenya 1 only having 3 players on the mat, with Kenya 2, 6 players on the mat. And the scores are really wanting, with Kenya 1 having 36 and Kenya 2 having 17 points. The margin still is too big for them to close. They really need to work hard and try and salvage the points. And we have Ruth Naibei on the mat to raid against 3 defenders having a super tackle on. Let's see, are they able to manage a super tackle, or will Ruth Naibei be able to get a point from the defense? And Ruth is back with an empty raid. Mary Wau crosses the center line again for a third raid. It is a third raid with Mary Wau on the mat. It is a do-or-die raid. Is she going to be able to get a point, or is she gonna be dead? Mary Wau on the mat trying to salvage the point. She claims a touch on the left in there. She claims a touch. She claims a touch. And Mary Wau being sent off by the referee, claiming no touch. But she's requesting for a review, but it seems they have exhausted their reviews for the second half. And Mary Wau is sent back to the bench. Team Kenya 2 moving to 18 points. And Ruth Naibei gets a success and comes back with an empty raid. And Faith Chepto crossing the mat tries to get a point. Very relaxed. And she's stretching. She doesn't get a point. Attempting on the left corner. Stretching on the left corner. She has already managed a success, and she can go back with an empty raid since it isn't a third raid. It isn't a do or die, and Faith Chepto is going to cross the center line with an empty raid, which seems to be a stop, and Velma crosses the mat to pursue. And the referee stops the pursuit from Velma Mijedi for a timeout requested by their coach. Team Kenya 1 having only 2 defenders left on the mat, that is Faith Chepto and Mary Ocheki. From Faith Chepto handling the right corner and Mary Ocheki for the left corner. It seems to be a very perfect combination there, because the Team Kenya 2 Raiders have not been able to salvage a lot of points or achieve a lot of touch points from the team, but the 2 defenders have been able to successfully perform a lot of tackles. And Velma Mijedi rushing for a raid there and being caught off guard with Mary Ocheki diving for both 2 legs, and Velma Mijedi sent back to the bench. And we have a raider who is pressuring the team here on the left. She attempts, and it is a dive from Joy Mugeti. Joy Mugeti having a very successful dive and a quick support from Jen Warau there. And it is a perfect combination to send off the raider from Team Kenya 1. And Ruth Naibei crosses the center line again to raid against these 2 magnificent defenders who have not been shaken since they were left 2 defenders on the mat. Faith Chepto and Mary Ocheki. Ruth Naibei stretching for Chepto and doesn't get a point. Again back to the right corner, trying some footwork, and she doesn't get a point. That was so close. And Ruth Naibei was not able to hear the countdown, and she runs out of time. The 30 seconds that she had to raid were counted, and it's all over before she could notice it. And it is a super tackle. And it is a super tackle for Team Kenya 1. achieving 2 points, and they also do a substitution. Team Kenya 1 substituting the player there, with Faith Chepto being sent back to the bench and Loretta being subbed in. And Team Kenya 2 gets a point for defender out of bounds, and the game is over, with the Team Kenya 1 emerging victorious with a lot of points to pile up against Team Kenya 2. Team Kenya 1 is very happy, since this is a competition and each and every team trying their best to clinch the cup, Africa Kabaddi Women Championship competition cup here at Kenya JKUAT Hall.